Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to A Little Extra Travel, where we share our experiences, reviews, tips and tricks from our travels, and provide a little extra context about traveling with a child with a disability. In this video, we will give you an overview of our experience visiting the stunning island of Klein Curaçao. Klein Curaçao is an uninhabited 1.7 square kilometer island located just 10 kilometers southeast of Curaçao. It is famous for its white sand beaches, turquoise water, and stunning snorkeling opportunities. It has an abandoned old lighthouse and some cool rusty old shipwrecks for those who like to explore. We visited Klein Curaçao for the first time during our most recent 4th trip to Curaçao. On our previous trips, we have visited many of the island's beautiful beaches, but had never before done the trip to Klein Curaçao. We had heard that the boat ride to get there could be rough, with risk of motion sickness for those who are prone to experiencing that, and a long, hot day in the sun. In the past, we weren't sure how our daughter would do, but now that she's a bit older and has done well on other boat trips and beach days, we figured we would give it a shot this time and see if this experience lives up to the hype. Before traveling to Curaçao, we secured our excursion to Klein Curaçao with a company called Mermaid. They arranged a transportation to and from the mainland on their ship and set up the whole day, including both breakfast and lunch buffets. They also provide shaded huts on the beach loungers, and washroom facilities to use on the island. You can message Mermaid ahead of time via WhatsApp with any questions, and we found them to be friendly and responsive. We recommend that you book ahead of time to avoid any disappointment, especially during busy season. We woke up early to be ready for our 5:45 a.m. transfer to our Klein Curaçao day trip. We had about a 30-minute drive from our resort to the docks and then boarded the Mermaid ship that would take us to Klein Curaçao. It seemed like everyone had a different way to confirm their reservation, but they processed everyone fairly quickly. We decided we wanted a spot on the upper deck to best enjoy the view, so we climbed the steep stairs to the upper level and found seats on the middle outside of the ship. I went back down and grabbed us a coffee, and we waited for everyone to board for our hour-and-a-half trip to the island. In order to save time, we applied our sunscreen while on the way. It was a surprisingly smooth ride. I was worried because I had read to expect the exact opposite. We did not experience any tummy issues and found the journey to be quite relaxing and very enjoyable. If you are prone to motion sickness, I would recommend that you sit on the lower level of the boat, in the center. Also, if you have any mobility issues, the stairs are very tricky to navigate, so I would recommend stick to the bottom level. We got to the island in just under that hour-and-a-half that they said it would take, thanks to the calmer sea conditions. Mermaid does not have a dock on the island, so we had to board a smaller tender raft that took us to the shore. Getting from the larger boat to the tender raft was a bit tricky for those who are not as agile, but the staff will help as much as needed. Once we were on the island, we found shaded spots under a palapa and went to the pavilion for a briefing. After the briefing, you have to grab your own sun loungers and drag them to wherever you like to sit, although I'm sure the staff would be willing to help if you needed any assistance. Breakfast was served shortly after, which consisted of a variety of types of sandwiches and fruit options. It was very cool to see that there were hundreds or more hermit crabs and lizards crawling around, as they have discovered that food appears at this location twice per day. They don't bother you though, but they're really cool to see. After eating, we were able to explore. The beach looked stunning with crystal clear turquoise water and white sand. As with many beaches in Curaçao, there is some coral and rock in the water, and water shoes are recommended to prevent any bumps or scrapes. We explored the shore and played in the water for a bit. We also did some snorkeling. We saw lots of fish over by the boats, but not much coral. I think there are better spots available, as their website mentions beautiful coral and a vertical drop-off and underwater caves for those who are scuba diving. We didn't want to go too far with our daughter, as she is not a strong swimmer, and we didn't have any fins with us. Mermaid has snorkeling equipment available if needed. I took a walk up the tall lookout tower, where you could see the entire island, which is basically a beach area, an old abandoned lighthouse in the middle, and on the other side of the island there are some rusty old shipwrecks. After Mom and Claire were done snorkeling, we all walked the very uneven, rocky terrain to check out the abandoned lighthouse. Although I'm a beach lover at heart, the lighthouse was actually my favorite part of the day. It was such a unique experience and interesting structure to explore. We were able to explore the tower and side buildings. You could tell that they have replaced some of the old floorboards. It was very cool to see all the graffiti in the decaying structure. Claire was amazed and just wanted to explore more.
Dad, there's another one. Come on.
She even tried to get me to walk out across these rickety old beams, assuring me that it was safe to do so.
Hey Dad, welcome to the lake. Hee 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 hee.
We gave our daughter the option about whether she wanted to climb up the narrow, steep winding stairs to the top of the tower. Given she has a disability and sometimes struggles with balance and endurance. However, she was a trooper and led the climb up the very steep winding stairs to the top. I decided to carry her down, as it was quicker and maybe even a bit safer, just more exhausting for me. We took some more photos before heading back for lunch.
Step into the spotlight, here I am, shining bright like a diamond in the glam. Every move I make, they know my name.
On the way back, our daughter had a little fall on the uneven pathway, and because of the bumpy, rocky terrain, she scraped up her leg and knee, so I carried her the rest of the way back. The Mermaid staff were great with getting us a first aid kit, and luckily we were able to sanitize and bandage her up. Lunch was a good spread of salads, fruit, burgers, chicken and ribs, all which were very tasty. Claire chatted up a mother and daughter sitting at our table. They were there from Montreal and were very nice. Mermaid collects all the leftover food scraps in a big bucket and then tosses it into the ocean after lunch, which attracts tons of seabirds and sea creatures. There's also a bar available to purchase drinks on the island. Note, this is card only, so don't worry about bringing cash, other than to tip the staff. When it was time to go, I went back and packed up our stuff and brought our chairs back while Claire and Mom played in the sand. Then we got in line to take the tender back to the Mermaid and head back to the mainland.
Say Klein Curaçao.
You would think that Claire would have been tired from getting up so early and a full day of excitement, but she stayed awake the entire boat ride back. She also stayed awake for the taxi ride back to our resort. The trip to Klein Curaçao was a memorable, unique, and enjoyable experience, and we're very glad we went. However, it does take up most of the day, and Curaçao has many equally beautiful beaches to explore. We recommend this trip for anyone who is on the island for a more extended period, or if you have been to Curaçao a few times and are looking to try something a little different. I would say the day is appropriate for all ages, although younger children may get bored if they aren't beach lovers. Mobility and access isn't great if you have mobility challenges. For example, there aren't beach mats for wheelchairs. The paths to explore the island are rocky and uneven, and transferring to the smaller tender is a little tricky. If you have any other questions about Klein Curaçao, please post them in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more travel content like this.
A little extra.